Today we're going to talk a little bit about paper tearing, how much fun it is, and all the different effects you can get. Some of the different effects are achieved by using rulers. This ruler has a very thin edge. This ruler, it's clear, which is great because you can see through it, but it has a thicker edge. The thicker edge ruler, like this, will give you this roughly torn edges. The thinner one gives you a nice clean edge, like this edge. It doesn't stick up as much and it's a little crisper looking. With the Hero Arts paper, it's two colors. It's white on the inside and a color on the outside. Now if we want to make a nice white edge that we can color with ink, we're going to tear from the outside. Just going to lift up the paper a little bit and tear along the edge. That way you get a nice torn edge that has a little bit of color that of the white. Now maybe we don't want the white showing, we just want a torn green edge. In that case, what we're going to do is we're going to tear from the inside, and that will give us a nice crisp green edge on the outside. So depending on which side you tear from, depends on what look you get. This will be the look if you tear from the inside. This is the look that you get when you tear from the front. I'm going to just put this black underneath here so you can see the difference. Now this little white edge is fun to add a lot of different inks to. Let me show you some samples with that. On this particular sample, the edges were torn. We used two pieces of varying green color, and then we went around the edge with this ink pad and added a little bit of color. Because the paper is raw, where we've torn it, it absorbs the ink really nicely, and you get some really beautiful edges and a little bit of the white showing. Add your message and accessory, and you're all set to go. You can tear on patterned paper also. Patterned paper, well, on any paper for that matter, has the torn edge is a little bit of a softer, the paper is a little bit softer and doesn't have any kind of finish on it. So you can add a little bit of water, and the water runs into the torn area. Then with an ink pad, we're going to dab into the edge and the bottom and add green paint. The paint absorbs into the water and you get a nice soft edge. That way you can still use your ink pad. You keep the integrity for stamping. I promised to show you some other kind of fun things to do with ink. So we're going to take vellum paper, and you can see how you tear the vellum in the shape of a triangle, and you can make a Christmas tree. Here's a copy of what you're going to see on Friday, which is a torn vellum tree. And you can see the torn handmade paper, which is a lot of fun to do. This handmade paper, I'm going to put the black under it again so you can see it a little better. This paper is torn by taking a paintbrush and adding some water and tearing along that line. To get more control, you're going to tear very close to the paper. It's also fun because with a craft knife, you can kind of brush out with the knife to make it much more loose looking on the sides. I want to show you one other trick, because I know I'm running out of time here, and that is how to make this really fun baby footprint. It's really fun for a baby announcement. I'm going to take my fist, I hope you can see this, take my fist, make a fist, and ink this part of my hand. This part of my hand goes right here. And then for the toes, I'm going to take my baby finger and put little toes. Makes a really fun baby invitation, or if you're a mommy, a thank you note for the presents. Another thing you can do with torn paper is take the same triangles or the same rectangles after they've been torn, place them on a card. Actually, this card I made a mistake on, and I got a smudge. So I'm going to sponge around it all these different ways so that you have a lot of pattern. You can never tell where the mistake is, and against the brown paper, it makes a really beautiful background. By using the same two rectangles, I put this one, you start with the inside and color around with the sponge. Put this one on top and go around this way. If you start with a bigger one, then you get a little bit of blending in the edges. I hope you've learned something from this. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.